So our next presenter is Arianna Rose Soriano. Arianna. Arianna loves the sun. When not in the lab looking at coral imagery, you can find her surfing or walking the beach at Scripps. This year, she had the opportunity to investigate coral conservation globally, and she also has a creative eye for digital media. Arianna also, I think, worked not full-time, but worked all throughout the year as a coach, pole vaulting coach and a track coach. She's really committed to education as a bilingual science educator who continues to, give back to the community in that way, even while she's in a very demanding and intensive master's program. So I think that's worth recognizing and really quite a special contribution to the San Diego community. Her presentation today is called From the Ashes, and here's Arianna.
At the start of this program, I began to explore other avenues to connect people with the environment. And so I learned the ins and outs of film production, soaking in skills from my colleagues in the film business, Aaron and Jorge, that's you guys. With a team, I returned to a place near and dear to capture the misunderstood beauty of wetlands, resulting in this short documentary film.
I do have a favorite wetland plant. It has a lot of different names. It's called salicornia or sea beans or sea pickles, and I didn't know that you could actually eat them, which is amazing and really fun to me. You can just pluck it and eat it, and it's really salty, so it's fun to put on salads and stuff. And whenever I go to a wetland now, like with family or friends, I will just take out a sea bean and I'm like, you should eat this. It's really great.
Former bilingual Spanish educator, I would teach 3rd through 5th graders and their families about native plants in the San Alejo Lagoon, located just 20 minutes north of La Jolla. And for many of these students and their families, it was their first time visiting a wetland, despite living 30 minutes inland. As San Diegans on our commute, we may never realize that sea beans exist, but through digital communication, it reveals details often overlooked and serves as another tool for education. At the same time, digital communication can harness powerful connections. So, for example, at the height of field trip season, I was in a position to influence and mold up to 180 environmental stewards in a week. But with digital communication, there's an opportunity to increase accessibility to people who are unable to visit these areas, like students who don't go on these field trips, people who are landlocked, or to my grandparents whom I live with. While at Scripps, my interest in digital communication only grew in working with the Sandin Lab and in volunteering with NOAA's Mission Iconic Reefs project. I had the opportunity to dive in areas that I had never seen before, ranging from colorful coral reefs in Fiji to also witnessing the dire state of reefs in Florida. And with this conservation technology, scientists visit the reefs, they take pictures of the reefs, and later stitch these images together in a 3D model. And with multiple time points, scientists can then use these models to visually assess how the reefs are changing over time. Large area imagery is another entryway for people who may not be able to dive to see the environment in this underwater world. And so the summer film combined with large area imagery inspired me to continue as a digital communicator and led me to my capstone project in Maui, Hawaii. 8 months following this natural disaster, recognized as one of the nation's deadliest wildfires in the past century, I headed to Maui to document the monitoring efforts in April this year. I was largely inspired across the Pacific because scientists are also using large area imagery to visually assess the reefs. But more specifically, scientists are studying how the potential effects of ash and toxic substances from the fire may enter the waters and have potential to affect the reefs in the adjacent areas of Lahaina. And so with multiple cameras in hand, I photographed, filmed on land and underwater, practicing my breath holds, and sat down to chat with coral conservationists at Pacific Whale Foundation. And I know what you're thinking, Pacific Whale Foundation, aren't they known for working with whales? But in chatting with them, they recognize that even the largest mammals, from whales to humans, depend on coral reefs. And in following their land restoration efforts, they really emphasize in the Hawaiian culture how there is a connection between land and sea. And so this film is part of a larger effort to investigate how communities are integrating policies for reef management, local solutions, and research investments. But more importantly, the film is to connect you, the audience, with the coral reefs, the story of Lahaina, and the coral conservationists doing the work. And so with that,
In the aftermath of the Maui wildfires in August 2023, the impact of ash and debris on nearby coral reefs remains a significant concern. The coral reef ecosystems adjacent to the devastated areas of Lahaina are facing new threats. After rainfall, toxic runoff from fire-related debris may enter the ocean. Harmful substances released from sunken boats in the harbor have the potential to deteriorate water quality. These new stressors add to the ongoing threats to marine ecosystems posed by climate change. Protecting the coral reefs, which form the foundation of Hawaii's oceanic ecosystem, is crucial for the health of Maui's aina, ocean, land, and air.
We're going to these already established AINA-based organizations and getting as many boots on the ground to support what they're doing, knowing that what goes on up on the land will end up showing in the ocean.
The conservation team at Pacific Whale Foundation is working on a project called Malkatumakai. Malkatumakai is a holistic approach to protecting marine and terrestrial ecosystems in response to the wildfires in Lahaina. We are committed to restoring cultural lands, recognizing their importance to the community and heritage.
Malama is take care and Aina is land. So we're taking care of the land because we know that it's connected to the sea.
Additionally, we are dedicated to cleaning up fire-related debris both on land and in the ocean. We are continually removing debris from the island's coastline, ranging from plastic pieces and fire-related debris to fishing nets.
Right when we started this project, we had to hit the ground running and act fast, because if we didn't start monitoring, there's no way we could go back in time. Whatever is the best way to help rebuild the reefs is always up for debate and being figured out. But with large area imagery, it's just the foundation. It's a way for anyone to understand what the reef looks like and study it and then figure out how best to help it. It's a little bit more than a snapshot in time. It's kind of like a memory you can go back to no matter what time it is. Large area imagery in Maui is important at this time for coral reefs. It's the basis of any conservation effort. Maui shows the importance of coming together and everyone doing their part. My observations with diving every week following the fires in Lahaina, I haven't noticed anything drastic or devastating. There hasn't been a noticeable massive bleaching or massive disease outbreak. Whenever you dive, no matter how much amount of time you spend in the ocean, when you go down there, it's just like a whole nother world. It's a whole ecosystem of so many intricate balances. It shows resilience because there's a lot of hardships that people face and that the reefs face, but there's a lot of love and passion about protecting it. It's a hopeful story for coral reefs worldwide. Maui shows the connectivity of the health of coral reefs and the health of the land to the health of people and the health of a community.
In concluding my search for avenues to connect people with the environment, I've landed on digital communication. And although rebuilding coral reefs may seem like an insurmountable challenge, with digital storytelling, we can highlight current conservation efforts with hopes to evoke a willingness to preserve it. I would like to thank my capstone committee for your guidance, Pacific Whale Foundation for guiding me and my family and friends for your unwavering support this year. I am grateful for you all and cannot be where I am today without you. Thank you.
Hi, Arianna. Thanks so much for sharing this project with us. Really timely and relevant. You know, the film almost feels like it's an episode of a larger series, and I wondered if you could explain the title. Well, tell us if it is a part of a larger series, and explain the title, Rebuilding Coral Reefs.
Okay, so short answer, yes. The title comes from Rebuilding Coral Reefs, which is based off of this science to policy paper. And it's a call kind of globally to assess how we are doing with coral conservation. And so you can break it down in this 3-pillar framework, looking at global solutions. Well, what are we doing to reduce carbon emissions? Local solutions, what are we doing to reduce stressors in local communities, nearby reefs? And lastly, what are we doing to enhance recovery of coral reefs through technology, active restoration, and science? And so I had the opportunity to visit other areas and islands as well. And so this is just the start of a series to hopefully document other areas as well and highlight their stories in coral conservation.
Do you have any plans to feature this film elsewhere?
Yes. So this film was submitted to Reef Futures, which is a coral conference in the end of this year. And so not only to reach a general audience, but also to put it in the hands of policymakers and scientists and other coral conservationists is why I've submitted it there as well.
Quick question. Will you be going back to Lahaina?
I love that question. I would love to. And now that I have friends out there and have met people out there, there is an opportunity to do so. Thank you.